So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eazy Conversations. Thanks a lot to everyone who listened to the last episode featuring the homie Matt. I hope you all enjoyed listening to us just give some gems out from based on our experiences in life that can hopefully help you in especially in the university and college walks of life. So now for episode 97 of Eazy Conversations, I'm extremely excited, of course, to be back in the studio virtually with the homie Matt. So what's up with the people?
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great day right now. Wow, 3 more episodes till 100. I can't wait. Tonight's going to be a very fun and laid back episode. I can't wait, Eric. We're going to debate some things, but without further ado, I'll let you introduce the topic tonight.
While, yes, looking ahead at episode 100, which is coming up soon, is exciting. We shall be falling back for this one to 97 in the moment and doing an episode that we've never done before, which is a fall special, if you will. We've done the summer special, we've done the winter edition. I'm sure there'll be some sort of spring rendition down the road, but for now we're focusing on the fall that we are currently in. And like Matt said, we'll be debating things with the theme of the fall, of course. We rounded out a list of 16 different components of the fall season, and based on lists that I put together, that Matt put together, and that you, the listeners, submitted for your favorite parts of the fall. So we rounded that all out into 16 things that will be placed in a bracket randomly, and we'll then be debating every matchup until we crown the royalty of the fall. And I'm very much looking forward to debating with you, Matt. We've done this a few times on the pod. Memory harkens back to the Dark Knight debate, our Pixar versus Disney episode, all classics. The difference in this one, though, is that debating for a bracket while being just 2, an even number, is kind of strange. So I do think we should, we'll bring another person in for this episode to help out in our debate and to help crown a winner. So without further ado, introducing she's a regular on here, our cousin Sara Smith. Say what's up to people.
Hello, hi Matt, surprise!
She's back.
I'm shocked. That's awesome.
I'll just
I'm so happy.
Scooch down a little bit here and get the mic up here. If you're watching on the YouTube, you'll see we're struggling a bit with the mic, but I'll get it. Okay, should be good.
Hi Matt, hi people. Surprise. We thought it would be fun to surprise you since Eric told me you didn't know I was coming on. I was like, So I brought us some little, summery drinks.
Yep.
But we'll just cheers to the end of summer then, and cheers, Matt.
Cheers. Damn.
Cheers.
Would have had my beer if I knew you were coming.
It's not too late to grab one.
I'll have one later.
Sounds good. So yes, Sarah is well aware of the topic at hand and submitted quite a few very good submissions, which is what led me to ask her to join for this pod last minute. I'm very happy that she was available and ready to roll as per usual. So before we get into it, though, we can just talk about the season of fall. And Sarah, you were the first one to respond to our story with a lot of enthusiasm about the fall. Is it your favorite season, and do you have any thoughts to offer up on the fall to begin our conversation?
Yeah, I would say it's my favorite season. I think it's a lot of people's favorite season. I think just the cozy outfits is a huge win for this season. But I love Halloween. I've always been a Halloween person, so just spooky vibes, witchy witch vibes, all of that. Big fall person. Yeah.
Matt, I also know that you're a big fall person as well.
It is my favorite season, and this isn't one of my submissions, but it's my birthday happens to land in fall, so that's a personal reason why I love it the most. My favorite holidays in fall as well. So, I mean, we're going to be talking about a lot more later on about why I love it so much. But yeah, fall it's too short of a season, really, in my opinion.
It's true. Sandwiched in between well, definitely a favorite for a lot of people, which is summer. And then winter is a sleeper as well that people, like a lot of people love the winter for the activities and the scenery as well. But speaking of scenery, it doesn't get much better than fall, honestly. Like I love fall. Over the years, I feel like I've appreciated fall more and often looked maybe in the past down on it, but now I love the fall. Like especially coming off the summer, it's a nice cool down from all the activities that like summer is very busy, and it is nice to take it easier in the fall. Get cozy with a nice Easy Conversations hoodie, and just do a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about in this episode. So I think we can dive into our bracket now, which will be randomly generated for the first time on air. So I'll be doing that now. So of course Sarah and I will be, as we're in the same room, have an advantage in that we can see the matchups. Matt, these are going to be thrown at you. You're going to be blindly reacting to them. So
you know what, Matt? I don't have my glasses on, so you and me, we don't know what's going on. So.
All right. So I'm in the driver's seat, I guess, for knowing what's what and what's going up against what. So without further ado, we'll be going at our first matchup, which is the 1 seed, which I think is fitting, almost as if the system knew to put this as number 1, Halloween. So that encompasses everything about Halloween. Like, Matt, you had submitted haunted houses. I feel like that can go into Halloween as well, like just the spooky vibes, the trick-or-treating, the candy, dressing up. Obviously, Halloween, dressing up. So that's our Halloween all-encompassing. And it's going up against the number 16 seed, Hunting Season. So we're going to throw it over to our surprise guest of honor first, Sarah. Which way are you leaning between Halloween and Hunting Season?
Well, this is an easy one for me, Eric. You know, I'm not really about the hunting life. I like to wear camo fashionably.
Yep.
So, and I would wear that all year round, not just the fall. So, big win for Halloween for me.
I'll piggyback on that as well. Also love camo. Got a nice Lululemon camo man bag, as it's been dubbed, or man purse, There's a lot of different actor titles for it. Big fan of that, and camo is solid, but not a hunter myself. I have shot a gun though, which is maybe surprising for some to hear. I think I've said it on the pod already. All-time hangover cure is firing off a loaded 12 gauge shotty. Would recommend in the safe environment, of course. But no, I don't have it in me to kill an animal. Honestly, I don't think I could ever do that or have any desire to do that. And I'm a huge Halloween guy. I've always said it's an underrated holiday. And be having another Halloween party this year, which is a great time. And love to... It's like the one day to do something really different that we don't have any other day of the year. Dressing up, it's fun, and it's fun to see what everyone else comes up with. In our neighborhood, though, Halloween, the trick-or-treating aspect was lacking. I think we had, literally one group come through last year, so hopefully we can bump those numbers up. Halloween, by a landslide for me. It's my vote.
All right, well, for me, for those of you that know me, you guys know I'm a huge big game hunter. No, obviously, I'm picking Halloween over hunting. I threw in hunting because the environment I'm in right now, where I live, and the people I work with, and my girlfriend and her family, they're big hunters, and it's an important part of the year for them, and they get to do their favorite hobby. But I'm a Halloween guy to the core. I'm just gonna throw in one Halloween thing, and I'll probably talk about Halloween some more in the next round, but I went to Saunders Farm and I did that haunted hayride, one haunted barn, and some Halloween stuff, and it was awesome. And that was just the start of the month for me. So more on Halloween later, and Halloween's definitely winning.
Yeah, no, keep some more Halloween stories for Halloween as it continues to progress through the bracket potentially. Haven't been to Saunders Farm in ages. I don't know. I guess it's still a solid spot.
I go every year. It's like tradition for me and my friends, and they have a cider. They make their own cider, and they have a little cider tasting that you can do, and they give you a little flight of cider. And as a non-really beer drinker, like it was just all of the things Sarah loves in one place, and I love it.
It's a match made in heaven. You have to rip up Saunders Farm, I guess, this year. Get on that cider deck.
Let's go.
So Halloween's moving on. Our next matchup is the number 8 seed Dogs in Costumes against the number 9 seed, perhaps criminally underseeded here, the Leaves Changing Colors / the Fall Scenery. So, Matt, do you want to start us off on that one? Dogs in Costumes versus Leaves Changing / Fall Scenery.
All right, well, since I live in the country now, I reap the full benefits of the leaves changing colors, and my drive home is filled with gorgeous scenery, and it's absolutely beautiful. That being, and also, like, I do have a dog living with me.
Oh, okay.
My girlfriend has a dog, but we do not dress him up. He's an old pup. I don't know. I just don't have a lot of experience with dogs in costumes. I do like seeing some on Instagram, but like, I can't. Leaves changing colors and this meaning like the scenery of fall is just to me way better than dogs in costumes. Even though I do kind of chuckle and laugh when I see it, and it's adorable. But yeah, leaves changing colors is my pick.
It's a good pick. I feel like Dogs in Costumes unfairly ran into a juggernaut sandbagger in the 9 seed. Leaves Changing Colors. Super nice, honestly. Whichever way you spin it, tough to beat. And like that's a fall staple too on the golf course. Losing your ball in piles of leaves kind of sucks, but at least like, all right, it's nice looking leaves. So I'll shimmy in here for a bit and I'll accept it. But and then like when someone else also submitted, which you can loop in here as well, like hiking during the fall, and you see the foliage and the orange and vermilion reds and all that. It is tough to beat. I'm also going Leaves Changing Colors in the fall scenery, but like you said, Dogs in Costumes, super cute. Wonder if my parents have anything up their sleeves for Simba this Halloween. Would be a great opportunity to show Dogs in Costumes some love on the outside of the bracket, but in the bracket for me, it's going down.
Oh man. I'm already in a tough decision, but you know what? Clearly, Leaves have already won.
That's
so
true.
I agree with Matt. Like, just the drive to or from work in beautiful, just staring at the leaves, like borderline dangerous for distracting driving, but so beautiful. And I think I agree with you, like hikes with my dog in the fall,
in a costume.
amazing. We just walked through some fallen leaves today, and it was so cute. But I'm just gonna give my vote to Dogs in Costumes because, and I'll tell you guys my experience this year already. But I have a little Halloween sweater that I put on Mika. For those who don't know me, I do have a little doggo. She's 2, and I was shopping around Winners, Marshalls, as I love to do during the fall, side note, just for the decor and stuff, but I saw little dog cow costumes, and I had told myself, like, oh, I'm not going to get Mika a costume this year, like, let's save some money, let's not spend it on that, but, like, I could not resist. Like, so her name is Mika, and Gus and I have evolved her name into many different things, but one of the things we do call her is Mooka. So imagine little Mooka in a cow costume. Like, come on! So cute! So yeah, again, like, I gotta give my vote to Dogs in Costume. I love it. I'm here for it. Never get sick of it. Yeah.
So it must have been tough then to not buy the cow costume.
And guys, like, let this be a warning to you. If you see something at Winners and you let it go, if you go back, it will not be there. So you gotta get it. Just don't let it be.
Yeah. It's true. Winners is definitely a hot topic store. A lot of goods. And I agree also, like shopping during the fall months, seeing the decorations that I don't really buy, but they're nice to look at.
So cute.
Cornucopias and whatnot. No, it is very nice. And there's also more decorations that we'll get into later on this bracket, but yeah, maybe some more winter stories to come up later. So fall scenery, moving on, and razor thin edge though. Dogs was there. I was debating, but no, fall colors moved on. So next matchup, and I was kind of hoping these two would meet to make it a very interesting conversation, I think. So number 4 seed, which I think is aptly ranked, the start of my favorite sport, I think everyone else, perhaps everyone else here's favorite sport, the start of the NHL season, going up against the number 13 seed football season.
Oh.
So I'm happy we got 2 heavyweight sports going toe-to-toe here. And Sarah, you'll be starting us off on this one. Start of the NHL season against football season.
Oh my god. Well, my whole life I've been a hockey girl. We know this. I was talking to Eric, your brother, Zach, just recently about this. I have been super into football this year. And in the past years, it's been, I keep joking about this, but every Sunday there's an increase in the amount of games that's being played in my household. So I know my future is Sunday football. This is a tough one for me. I think I will go with the NHL, just being that Canadian hockey girl through and through. And because the football is a more recent thing, I will give my vote to the NHL season. I am really looking forward to it as well, especially with like our pool and everything. So yeah, I'll go hockey, but this is a tough one because I really am enjoying football too, so I'm curious to see what you guys have to say.
Well, now I have the power to send NHL season through easily, but I'm going to debate both sides here and give my reasoning as to why I'm picking the one I am picking. I agree with a lot of what you said, Sarah, about football definitely being a recent thing that I've gotten into now. It's been 4 years that I've done fantasy football, and that's completely changed my outlook on football in that I'm extremely invested in it now, and it does encompass more of the fall months. Whereas the NHL does start in the fall, but it's a mostly all-year thing that ends in the thick of summer, right? Or at the start of summer. Football is a full commit of 17 weeks that I'm invested every single week. You sit down like most of the Sunday just watching football. It makes you think of the fall, or it does for me anyways. Like it's really been a big thing that at the end of summer, I'm more looking forward to the start of football season because it's closer. It's more associated to fall for me than hockey is. That being said, I am a hockey guy through and through, and I've loved the NHL since I was a kid. Fantasy hockey is also a huge, and I obviously love fantasy hockey more than fantasy football, but the pound for pound investment, and Sarah and I were talking before the pod, of how invested I am on Sundays in fantasy football. The stress is real. Like most of the gray hairs on my scalp are literally due to fantasy football. Making the right lineup decisions, and I never do make the right lineup decision. It haunts me every single day, every single Monday after Sundays there. So, but that being said, the fantasy hockey draft I always look forward to. I'm also the commissioner of the league, so there's also incentive for me. Like I do like setting it up and communicating with the various big personalities in our league. It's a lot of fun, and once hockey starts, it overtakes football for me because it's pretty much every day there's hockey. Even though it's not like as representative of the fall as football is, my vote is for hockey over football.
Now, people don't get offended because I am a hardcore baseball fan, so like don't be offended when I say that football is extremely boring to me, and there's so many commercials, slow. I cannot get into it. Now, yes, I love baseball too, so it doesn't make sense, but of course hockey's my vote, greatest sport on earth. More on hockey later.
Yeah, I do feel like before we put football to bed here, in the dirt. We, yeah, I could see that, Matt, too. Like me too. When I was younger, I didn't really have much interest in football. My dad would watch it every Sunday, and it was on, and it never did it for me at all. I think fantasy football is what got me more into it for sure. Okay. And then once I started that up, I haven't looked back since. And so the rules, like once you start to know them, it is still complicated at times. Like what constitutes a catch and all that is still sometimes a little fuzzy. But once you're in, you're in. And like Sarah said, there's more games being played every single Sunday, and it's from 1 p.m. to 8:20 p.m. They're like, you gotta watch it. You can't stop once you start. It's a nasty drug that I can't get enough of. God, I love football. But NHL is moving on. But good battle. So our next matchup is 5 seed Apple Picking against the 12 seed Delicious Desserts, including, so these are 2 food related picks here. So pumpkin pie, I guess candy apples, just like treats that you would get in the fall as well. Apple custard. So there's a bit of overlap in these two, but apple picking is a distinct activity, I would say. And yeah. So Matt, do you want to kick us off for this one?
Sure. This one's going to be hard because one leads to the other. Apple picking leads to delicious desserts after with the apples. I love the act, not the eating part or anything, but just the act of going there and seeing the orchard and the trees and picking the apples, just having fun with your family and friends. That, how much do you value that over eating delicious sweets and desserts, cooking desserts like pie? Now, that being said, I am a foodie and I'm a dessert junkie, so I'm picking delicious desserts, or whatever the category, whatever it was called. I can't get enough of sweets, and especially fall flavor, pumpkin, all that stuff, Eric. Just had a pumpkin spice latte the other day. Pumpkin pie, I absolutely adore. Anything with pumpkin, I could eat year round. Apple picking is fun, but I'm all about eating here, especially I've been eating. In the last year I've gained quite a bit of weight just eating my ass off. So I'm picking desserts.
Yeah, that's a good logical deducing there for your pick. I agree, honestly. I do like apple picking, but it's also not something that we do every year. We went last year. I don't think the year before, and then maybe the year before. So it's kind of every odd year we'll go. It is fun. I think I enjoyed it a lot when I was a kid too, with the long pole and the little basket at the end. And you just snap down the apples from the top ropes. Always fun. Also climbing up the trees to the chagrin of my mom, perhaps asking me to come down. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Throwing it back to Grandma and Grandpapa's tree in their front and backyards, respectively. If only there were apples, it would have been the cherry on top. Speaking of cherry, you can't go wrong with a nice cherry pie. And pie season, I don't know when pie season actually is. Is it the summer? Is it the spring? Is it fall? I don't know. But for me, I think fall right now. Pumpkin pie is one of my favorite pies. I feel like it's elite. And delicious desserts is going to be getting my vote as well. Nice. What else do we have? Sucre à la crème. I feel like that's a fall winter thing. Sucre à la crème is melted in your hands during summer and spring. I feel like fall is the time to get in on the ground floor on sucre à la crème stock. So that's my vote for sure.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Matt has been hitting the PSLs, pumpkin spice lattes. Welcome. I want to officially welcome you to the Basic Bitch Club. So apple picking for me, honestly, every year I say I'm going to go apple picking and I just don't. So, delicious desserts is gonna get my vote, but not for eating them, but for me it's actually been so much fun to make new things. So I'm a big Pinterest person. I look up fall recipes. I pick a few new ones every year, and it's been a really fun activity for me. More to, just a weekly baking session. That doesn't sound right. So what I need is, like I said, every week I'll pick out something new to make. So like now it's tradition for me, banana, pumpkin, chocolate chip muffins. Every year I gotta make them. This year I just made some, and I gave a bit to Eric. Sorry, Matt, if you were here, I would have given you some too. Some cheesecake, apple crumble bars, and I have a few other ones on deck.
Yeah, let's go.
Delicious desserts, but actually making the delicious desserts.
Perspective, I like it. And also that baking joke, I think, went way over Matt and mine's head until you said something. So could have gone under the radar, and listeners would have identified it on their own. But I like the double take.
Baking sesh.
Yep. Great stuff, and I like that different take on the delicious desserts too. I also like making dessert. I don't make that many, to be honest. The most I would do, and I've done, I think I will do this weekend coming up, is making like loaves. So a loaf of like, I don't even know if this is a dessert, but lemon and like blueberry or raspberry, orange cranberry, just different variants of like loaves. I think those are solid desserts.
You know what? I was a loaf girl before, but I find for sharing, it's been easier to make the muffins. So I've transitioned into the muffin era, but used to be a big loaf girl. Okay,
so loaf is a gateway to to the muffin game, the muffin baking sessions. All right, good stuff. So delicious desserts and sweep apple picking. So our next one is. Wolf, I think this is definitely a high seed, especially for Matt. This is the number 2 seed, horror movies in October, which is the season to be consuming horror content. Going up against, I think, also a strong 15 seed, kind of similar to what we just discussed, but it is different. Pumpkin flavored things, PSL Matt, going up against these movies. Gonna be tough here. So pumpkin flavored things, and this is including. Another one that I had written down but then I've taken off is pumpkin carving. We'll throw that in there. Pumpkin themed. Okay. So decorations, pies, spice lattes, and all that against horror movies. Sarah, do you want to kick us off on this one?
I will kick us off. So, just like apple picking for me, horror movies. Every year I hype myself up so that October comes and I'm like, you know what, this is the year, this is going to be the year I'm going to watch scary movies, I'm going to do it, I'm going to have a list, I'm going to ask Matt to give me a list of recommendations and I'm going to watch them and it's going to be great. And every year I chicken out right as the 1st of October hits. So, pumpkin flavored things, being a member of the Basic Bitch Club, I'm gonna go with pumpkin flavored things. I've been personally loving the pumpkin chai tea latte. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend. But pumpkin carving also, you just threw that in. But for me, honestly, every time I do it in October, I'm like, I wish that this was a thing that was acceptable to do all year round because I have so much fun doing it and I feel like so creative and like it would actually be a hobby for me to do that all year round. So gonna go with pumpkin flavored. A funny story about horror movies. I think some of the last horror movies I watched were with Matt actually. Other than going to see It in theaters, which that messed me up, guys. Clowns, no joke. But Matt and I asked him, just as I mentioned before, Matt, you gotta show me some horror movies. I really wanted to watch House of Wax because Paris Hilton was in it. I had never seen it. I was like, I need to watch this. And like, I'm sure you're not gonna rank it high in terms of horror rating, but we watched that and then we started. I think it was called Dead Silent. Do you remember?
Yep.
Do you remember this?
Dead Silent.
So this was a Matt pick, and we started it, and after maybe like half 2/3 of the movie, I had to go back home, and it was walking distance from my uncle's house, and I'm outside, it's starting to get dark, the crisp, cool air. I'm starting to shake in my boots, like, oh, these like dead silent guys following me. I'm really not good at horror at all, but that took me back to that night. I seriously am such a wimp, but no horror movies for me.
So pumpkin spice gets one, or pumpkin flavored and pumpkin activities gets one. Matt, I'll give you the second vote here so that I don't choose the fate of this matchup until you can voice your opinion on it.
I was hoping you'd do that, Eric. Make it more climactic. I do love pumpkin carving, actually, like everything about it, cutting, like scooping out the yuckiness inside. And I did it with my girlfriend's daughter she had never done it. I did that last year with her, and it was super magical, and she couldn't believe her eyes, and we painted it after. It was really fun. However, I'm a horror movie aficionado. I all year round watch horror movies, and in October, watching them, just the experience is heightened by just the atmosphere outside and the color of the leaves. Like everything just makes it that much better to watch. Like I just go on a binging streak. Well, you guys all know my love for horror movies. I don't need to explain myself. So horror movies is my pick.
Mm-hmm. So now for my answer for this one. Love pumpkin carving, honestly. I agree with Sarah. It's something that'd be fun to do more often, but I feel like it's even more fun because we only get to do it once a year. And then the exclusivity of the month of October to pumpkin carve makes it that it's an event. You know, we used to go at least once I can remember, if not a few times. We went to your parents' house back in the day and they carved pumpkins together.
Yeah,
that was super fun.
Party.
Made an event of it, and that's something I used to do with my parents, or my mom mostly there. She was more holding it down on the pumpkin carving game. And it is fun to showcase some artistic skills and come up with a nice idea. One year I made a me ghost pumpkin, like a me ghost pun there, and that's one that I'm very proud of. I think I got a couple of likes on Instagram back in the day.
When we lived together, you made a gritty pumpkin.
Yeah, that was a great pumpkin.
That was a great pumpkin.
A great pumpkin. Man, that's probably one of my better ones. And I also did the V for Vendetta one, if not last year, the year before. That one was fun to do as well. Who knows what I got up my sleeve this year? Probably something mediocre, but it'll be fun to make. And some people make a truly remarkable art, and they go crazy with the shapes and the depths and all that. That being said, horror movies during the fall, it's the perfect time to watch them. And like you, Sarah, every year I'm also when Matt, you recommend more horror movies to me, I push them off until the fall, specifically October, which we're currently in, to watch them. That's when I'm in the mood for horror movies. I want to watch horror. That being said, I don't watch that much of it. And I've already said I'm a big pumpkin pie guy. I've dabbled in pumpkin spice every now and then as well. I used to be a big pumpkin spice latte guy. Now, not as much, but still, pumpkin carving is what's
this is a tough one.
Tipping it is a tough one. I think you know what, and I just said previously that pumpkin pie is one of my favorite pies. I'd be lying if I said that I like horror movies more than pumpkin flavored things, so I gotta push pumpkin flavored things through.
Sorry, Matt.
For authenticity of who I am. But I do think for the bracket, maybe pushing horror movie would have been the right call. That's not how I play the game. So we're pushing pumpkin flavored things through to the next level. And now a moment in our next matchup to maybe have Matt, you might be disgusted at me saying that this is a comparable to horror movies, but a movie component to our bracket would be the number 7 seed Harry Potter marathons going up against the number 10 seed baseball playoffs. I'll
my
kick us
God.
off going back to back here, where I faltered in leaning towards movies in the previous matchup. I'm 100% leaning Harry Potter marathons in this matchup. Huge Harry Potter guy. I wish I had my Voldemort wand handy right now. I might run downstairs and get it because who knows? I might move on to the next round. We'll see. Fall 2 is the time to watch Harry Potter. It plays all year round. You can watch any season, but it's the best during the fall, similar to horror movies, if you will. And I just, I love Harry Potter. What else is there to say? Just got back from London, a little vacay in London town. Was there a couple of days. Almost bought another wand, honestly, and I would have loved to have two to rip these Harry Potter movies, which we'll be doing soon. So for me, it's and just to say, Matt, you took a shot at football. I will now take a shot at baseball. Not a baseball guy. I will say though, watching during the playoffs has been more entertaining in the past. I've only done it once, the 1 year that Toronto was like really in the hunt, which I think was in like 2013. My understanding of it is they're a good team right now. I don't follow the MLB, and I probably won't be watching come playoff season. So Harry Potter gets my vote. Matt, do you want to go for this one?
Yeah, sure. I totally thrown off guard by the Harry Potter marathon pick. Okay, like I love my baseball, I love my sports, but like I like movies 1,000 times more than any other like hobby of mine. So like I'm picking Harry Potter too. Like
wow.
no
Okay, did
question,
not see
really.
that coming.
Like I love, like I just said, I'm obsessed with movies. I like them way more than any sport. And I freaking adore the Harry Potter movies. So baseball is gonna have to go to the dumpster, I guess, in this round.
Not see that coming. Sarah?
Harold James Potter. So, honestly, even in playoffs like baseball, it's hard for me to watch. Like it's something that I just have in the background. So the only way I really care was if it was the finals and Toronto was in it. I would watch it, and I would probably not even watch the whole game. Maybe it would just be like highlights even. So sorry baseball, but I like you, Harry Potter is an all-time for me. But I love watching it in the fall too. It's just cozy, and like I just set up like little lights near my TV in my living room, and it's just like magical, and the vibes are right. Harry Potter is going to be playing in my household. I also, like, not to bring it back to desserts, but I actually made butterbeer cookies.
Nice. Let's go.
Which, like, that kind of, it's fall.
Yep,
so
for sure.
my vote is Harry Potter. So I didn't think you were gonna vote Harry Potter, Matt. That's clean sweep.
Me neither. Very surprised.
And that was my
Your submission. I loved it when I saw that. I completely agree. It is a fall thing. And just to tie it back to horror as well, I think I've already said on the pod, back when I was a kid, I was just terrified of the Harry Potter movies. I had to leave the theater from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone like 30 minutes into the
It was scary
flick.
for a kid.
It was scary. And I remember I didn't go back to the theaters until Goblet of Fire, and I was still scared of that one, which I think I was like 10. But then as of Order of the Phoenix on, I was good to go. 12 years old is when I got over that hump. But yeah, so for me that was horror. And now it's just good fun. Love that world, and I'm happy to see it move on. So our next matchup is, I think, could be a closer one than some people think, is the... God, I need glasses too. The number, I think this is aptly ranked, the number 3 seed Sweater Weather / Cozy Outfits against the number 14 seed Soups and Crockpot Meals.
Ooh.
Sarah, do you want to start us off with that one?
Sure. I feel like I know where Eric's gonna go with this one, but I'm gonna give it to Sweater Weather. Sweater Weather. I just love fall fashion. I love layering. I love flannels, to quote my brother.
Nicholas Flanell.
Flannel jackets, toques, everything. Boots. Sweater weather. On to you, Matt.
Wow, what do I value more? Like what I'm wearing or what I'm eating? Such a hard one. This sounds really tough. But of course, I'm gonna go with my stomach.
Okay, I was gonna say, that's what I thought.
Soups and crock pots. Big crock pot user, by the way. Like, throw all of my roasts in there and
The
stews.
best.
And I mean, I like eating more than caring what I'm wearing. So, going with my stomach, soups and crock pots, and soup like pumpkin soup. I think that's that's definitely a thing. And food all the way.
I'm curious to know which way you think I'm leaning, Sarah. But
Big soup guy.
so this is actually it's a tough one for me, as I'm a huge hoodie guy. As you can see if you're watching this on YouTube. If not, you should subscribe. Big hoodie guy. I do love being cozy, and who doesn't, right? That being said, since I work from home especially, I normally wear sweatpants and hoodies every single day. So sweater weather for me has been year round, the last 2 years anyways. And I do wear hoodies during summer and obviously winter, but I obviously eat soup and crock-pot meals during winter as well there. But my point is more sweater weather goes on all year long for me until I step outside. And yeah, my love for hoodies and all that will have to take a backseat to soups. As a well-documented soup guy on the pod, I have to push that through. I just made a nice, easy cream of tomato soup last weekend. I got another soup lined up on the burner on deck for next week, this weekend. There's going to be cooking soups up on a weekly basis along with loaves of bread to go with them. And I love the crock pot as well, like you, Matt, especially from working from home. It's a nice at 12 p.m. I chop up the veggies or whatever meat goes in there, set it for 4 or 5 hours, and then when I'm done work, dinner's ready. Maybe make a little side soup or heat up a soup I've already made with that. So it's soup and crock pot deadly duo it's going through.
Crock pot chili.
Yup.
I'm going to try and make butternut squash soup this year. I've never made it from scratch, so another Pinterest goal of mine. But
send the recipe through. I also want to make a butternut squash soup.
All right, we'll compare notes.
Yeah. Collab also on the next one. All right, good stuff. So now for our last matchup, we have, I think, another tough one, honestly. 6 seed Thanksgiving against 11 seed crisp fall weather. So not the scenery, just the cool down from summer, the air outside. I'll start us off. As a big hoodie guy, and when I go for walks, the air during the fall is elite. There's no two ways about it. If you bottle that air up, it's going at a premium that summer, winter, and fall air just cannot match. Love Thanksgiving too. It's coming up this weekend at the time of recording. But there's two sides of the sword of Thanksgiving. Great food, amazing food, great leftovers. Who doesn't love stuffing? And you get to see your family, awesome times. But that being said, it can be a quite overwhelming weekend. And that's not to bash any family member. I'm on here with two of my, dare I say, favorites family members on this podcast. But, when you're going to family dinner, family brunch, family dinner, it is a lot.
Yeah.
And I wonder what my mom's going to think of me saying this on the podcast. I love my family. But I'm going to be pushing crispy fall weather through on this one. Because it lasts longer too. Thanksgiving is great. It's a fun weekend. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely looking forward to Thanksgiving and seeing everybody and having some good food. But the fall weather lasts longer, and like I said, it's fun to go. I love coats too. I guess this kind of falls into hoodie season that I just didn't vote for. But I like going outside wearing the coat, hoodie, and walking around. Yeah, crisp fall weather.
I don't know. I need more time. Matt, you go.
Yeah, order switch. I like it.
I was thinking the whole time Eric was talking. I love what you said, Eric. Me personally, as a I'm a big. The weather influences like my mood a lot. Like summer and the winter, every season. I'm a big weather guy, and I absolutely adore this weather. So I think it's gonna edge up Thanksgiving. I do like big family meals, eating a lot, stuffing my face, having leftovers, talking to my family members I haven't seen in a while. But like that 2 months of the perfect weather, in my opinion, where I can wear a sweater but only that, and still wear my baseball cap, like is perfect. I love being outside, especially now that I have land and I can chill outside all day and not get bothered, or I can do my own thing. The weather is so important to me, so I'm definitely picking fall weather.
Okay.
I'm still in my head about this, but I agree with everything you guys said for Thanksgiving, and like love seeing my family, love seeing you guys. The food, like usually it's turkey. I'm not a big turkey person. And I just like, if it's for family dinners, like at this point in my life I make so much time for family dinners that it's like I don't know, I don't need one specific day to force me to have a family dinner. Like I would just do it anyways. But I enjoy it too. But like crispy fall weather, crisp.
Either or, they both work.
Crisp fall weather.
Crispers.
It's so comfortable to me, and like on the other end of things, like I loved my summer this year, so like I was a little sad to see it go and get cold really fast. But I also I like running, and fall is key for going out for runs, because you're not overheating. It's the perfect temperature for that. Also big sweater person. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you both. I think it's a sweep. Like
Nice.
None of our family take this personally. We love you.
Big time.
But,
I'm very much looking forward to seeing everybody. Like it's always all love, and like we don't see each other that often, especially in person nowadays. So you definitely cherish those Thanksgiving, all these holidays a lot more than now more than ever. Definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, you can't beat the crispiness of the fall. And on your point about running too, I don't know if I've already said this on the pod, but I wish I could be someone who got up and got the day going with a nice run. And no better time to do that than the fall, which is now. I'm not going to do it, but I'd love to do that. I feel like it's a great way to just start your day up. A runner's high, so they say, is something that one should seek in their life. Maybe one day. I don't know if I've already said this before, but when I was living in the UK, I went for a run once. Actually tried to get into the runner's game. I landed on my foot, awkwardly blew out my knee. So it was a sign from the gods that the runner's game is just not for me, which is super sad to say. And by blew out my knee, I just mean there's inflation. I didn't lose the ability to walk. I wasn't seriously injured. It swelled up a lot.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a sign, I guess, just not for me. Yeah. Crisp fall weather going through. So now we're on to our second round. I'll just scroll up here and remember what won. So now our next matchup, we got Halloween against leaves changing colors / the fall scenery. I'll actually start us off for this one. Switch it up. Just shake things up a little. Big Halloween guy. The high of Halloween for me beats out the high of the leaves changing colors. I feel like I love it when it happens, but even at that, I don't know if I love it that much. I do appreciate the nice colors, and I think it's very fun to see, driving especially, but I don't drive that often. Halloween party, definitely looking forward to it.
My favorite. And
like I said earlier too, it's a once a year thing that I kind of wish we did more often to a certain degree. Like a theme party. We should sprinkle those in more often there. Like a Clue murder mystery party. I might have to organize that myself one day. But yeah, back on topic here. Halloween for me, trick-or-treating, we didn't even really get into that either. I loved doing that as a kid. it's like to come back with it, especially when we got into the pillowcase game. Like before, you used to have a crappy jack-o'-lantern, like a pumpkin with a little plastic handle. There's stuff of the bare minimum in there, whereas a pillowcase, you can get a lot in there. Yeah, I think Halloween for the trick-or-treating aspect as well, the candy, where it's socially acceptable to just pig out on Swedish Fish and Mike and Ike's, it's getting my vote 100%.
I agree with you on the pillowcase. Always been a pillowcase.
Veterans move.
Trick-or-treater veteran move. So in my friend group, I kind of hog Halloween. My friends know, like, it is my night to host because I go all out. I love it. I actually love more all the prep and, like, the whole month it takes me to decorate and, like, plan than the actual evening itself. But, yeah, it is my one night to host. And, for that reason, leaves, I'm out. Halloween.
In the essence of saving some time here, I'm just gonna say clean sweep Halloween, and I'll be using my Halloween arguments for the next round.
Okay, nice. I also just thought of something else for Halloween, but I like it. There's more. We're not emptying the clip on Halloween yet.
Yeah.
All right, so it's going through the next round. Now we have. This could be an interesting one. The start of the NHL season against delicious desserts. Matt, do you want to start us off?
Sure. That's a very hard one because it's like my stomach versus a sport to watch. But you know what? Desserts aren't everything I could eat. You know, there's more stuff I could snack on while watching the hockey game. There's nothing like watching the Sens play and, like, they're doing so well. Also checking my fantasy app and my own team doing so well too at the same time. No better feeling than the Sens winning and you getting a lot of points that same night in fantasy hockey. That is a high that can only be experienced if you have a fantasy team. I'm picking hockey just actually for that feeling the next morning when I open the app and it's like, oh my god, my guys playing on the West Coast did so well and the Sens won. Great feeling. I mean, hockey is so fun to watch. I can eat other things. I do love my Halloween desserts, but, like, I enjoy the high of, like, watching my team. Just watching hockey is so much fun. So, hockey all the way.
Eric, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
So, as much as I have enjoyed making desserts, I'm actually not even the one eating them for the most part. And all I'm picturing right now is, like, waiting all summer long with no hockey for those nights where I come home to Gus and I watching the game together, yelling at the TV, giving Mika high fives. And if I had to go a whole fall watching no hockey or eating no desserts, I'm gonna go no desserts. So it's NHL for me.
Yeah, NHL clean sweep, no brainer for me as well. Like you said too, Matt, the fantasy hockey is such a big aspect of, like, getting those points, and it all starts in October, right? And that's the promise of a new season of hope of, like, I could win fantasy hocky this year. Like, especially if you get off to a hot start, you're buzzing. And in what season does that happen? In the fall. That's representative of, like, arguably the most in the time you're the most invested in fantasy hockey as well, and maybe even hockey too if your team starts off, like, because you're just hoping for a good season for the Sens as well. So, and you saying, like, that when the Sens are doing well and your fantasy team's doing well, like, that's a tall task to ask for, that both those things are happening at the same time. But one can hope, and in a blue moon, it does happen sometimes. And yeah, I can't wait for the NHL season to start. Going to the home opener, it's a packed barn this year too. We bought tickets, I think, a week after the tickets were on sale for the general public, and the closest tickets we could get for a reasonable price were in, like, row R in the 300s. Like, everything in the lower bowl of the 300s was sold out, and, like, I love the optimism in just the vibe around the team going into this season. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially for the Sens, and I can't wait. So that's getting my vote as well. It's going through.
Our dads are actually going to, me and Matt. So
Nice.
yeah, they'll. I should tell them to text you. You guys can meet up, have a drink.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Meet up with them. Nice. Perhaps I'll already try to get a trade going with us, Andy and I, and Mart is going to be at the game too. So we'll see. And a long-awaited Chevy's Hoisters meeting. Yeah. All right, good stuff. So for our next matchup, we've got, while desserts may have been eliminated, pumpkin-flavored things remains alive, and it is going up against Harry Potter marathons. Big ones here. I mentioned a few times already in this episode that I'm a big pumpkin pie guy. I was a big pumpkin spice latte guy. I am. What else is there? Pumpkin. I think my mom made us a nice pumpkin loaf, which was delicious. Carving pumpkins. I don't know if there's anything else pumpkin related that we're missing here, but I love pumpkin flavored things. I love Harry Potter. It's a tough one, but Harry Potter means more to me as a person than pumpkins do. As much as I do love coming up with an idea of something to carve this year, I don't get that same nostalgic joy and fear of watching Harry Potter like I did when I was a kid. And it's just like I've already said a ton of times on the pod. It's such a universe that I love, and it just fits the season. It's crisp fall weather. It's leaves falling down. It's magic. It's Harry Potter. It's going through for me. It's my vote.
You know, Matt, just so this is not a sweep and we can keep the climax going, so I can watch Harry Potter all year round. I love pumpkin carving, and it is a fall bracket, and it's my one time to do it. I'm not giving it up. Mr. Potter? I'm gonna go pumpkin flavored things.
I mean, we arguably have the greatest franchise of all time, so I mean, I'm picking Harry Potter too, Eric. We'll talk about it some more next round.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not even mad about it, but I still I stand by my choice, but I'm okay with Harry Potter moving through.
I like the reasoning though, Sarah, and it's true. Like Harry Potter is something you can definitely watch all year long, whereas pumpkin carving we've said is taboo in any other season, unfortunately, for reasons outside of our control. Maybe pumpkins just can't be grown in the colder or the warmer months. I don't know much about their lore. But so for our next matchup, we got soups and crockpot meals going up against the crisp fall weather. Matt, you want to kick us off here again? Another stomach and weather debate.
I mean, I thought it was going to be a hard matchup, but you know what? I do a variety of things in the kitchen, okay? Like I'm a wizard. Oh, no, not really. But there are other things I can cook, but I can't, I can't stress the importance of weather in my life. Like, it influences my mood. Like, I'm so, freaking hate winter, and I hate when it's too hot, and fall weather is just perfect. You know, I can sleep. It's cold when I'm sleeping, but I'm not freezing. It just lulls me to sleep. I can throw away my crock pot and my soup pot. You know, I can do other things, but being outside in that perfect weather, I run every week too. So Sarah, I totally understand what you're saying. You're not sweating your ass off. You're running sometimes against the breeze, with the breeze. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. So my vote's with weather.
This is tough. I'm trying to think what makes more sense for me to choose. Do you have your answer, Sarah?
I do.
Okay, all right. I feel like you're going to be pushing fall weather through as my guess here, but I'm going to go, as much as I love the weather, Just got back from Nice. It was very nice. It was like in the 20s, 26 average weather out there. And then we flew, like I said, to London. It was fall weather over there. I wasn't having it. It was, I was loving the warmth, the heat, the nice southern charm. The heat is, I love it. And I also, like I said, I pushed fall weather through, so people are probably listening to this like this hypocrites just all over the place. But in the matchup of soup and crock-pot meals, which I've been in saying that I wasn't looking, in saying that I didn't like coming back to the cold weather, me saying that I was looking forward to making crock-pot meals and soups might again sound hypocritical, but it's true. That's one of my favorite things about this colder weather, is the fact that I can make these meals that I get to reap the benefits of, regardless of if I'm outside or inside. Because, like I said, I'm homebound. I'm in the doghouse. I don't go out that often. So soups and crock pots for me is getting my vote. And now Sarah, you can push one or the other home.
One word, guys. Crispy. I'm gonna go with crisp fall weather.
All right.
I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm 30 now, but I've been just rocking my like dad look these days. So my vest game is on point. And you know what? I need that crisp weather to be able to execute such a style. So, not the only reason, but it's adding to my vote. Weather.
Yep. No, makes total sense. So it makes sense also that this one did move on. Could have gone either way for me, but I think the better option rose to the task. So yeah, now our semifinal matchup, we've got Halloween against the start of the NHL season.
Oh.
So
Tougher.
it is tougher for sure. These are some juggernauts. High seeds, respectively, the 1 and 4 seed. I think if this wasn't made randomly, I do think these two being ranked at these spots makes total sense. Matt, do you want to start us off?
Sure, yeah. So, to me, fall, like, there is no fall without, like, Halloween is the essence of fall, or fall is the essence of Halloween. I don't even know. I'm just trying to say that Halloween is the most important part of fall. I'm throwing all my chips on the table here. Like, the whole month is built upon this one day of trick-or-treating where everyone dresses up, goes to parties, or collects candy. The decorations in the stores you guys mentioned, like a month and a half before. No, just Halloween's spectacular. I love it. I love dressing up into costumes. I like seeing other people's costumes, giving out candy, eating candy that night while watching Halloween, my favorite horror film of all time. NHL, I can watch it the next, like you said, Eric, NHL is a long season, but like fall is embodied by Halloween, in my opinion. My favorite holiday. It's the spooky time of year, you know. It's magical. Halloween's the greatest. Period. I'm done now. Halloween gets my vote.
Oh, it's a good vote for sure. Two, like I said, I'm a big Halloween guy. It's gotten even more fun, I think, over time. Like there's a bunch of different ways to appreciate Halloween, and like when you're a kid, I think it's probably the second best to Christmas, in that Christmas you're getting a ton of gifts. It's unreal, like the high of getting a Lego set after Lego set after Lego set. Just like you can't top that as a kid. But what's the second closest thing is getting just a plethora of candy just on demand. And then you see us at our house, I think we had a limit of how many we had per day. So Halloween lasted for more than just the 31st. It was spread out. You get like a few weeks, you get candy at school as well as a kid from like your classmates and stuff. And then like you said, Matt, as an adult now, like still Halloween parties I think are super underrated. Like it's fun that we're bringing them back a little bit now. And I love going to them, hosting them. It's just a great time. hockey is, it's my favorite sport. We talked about fantasy hockey quite a bit already, justifying why NHL has moved on as far as it has. Now 2 weeks out, I can't wait for it to start. But it is not necessarily a fall staple, other than the fact that it starts in the fall. It gets more of a winter sport than spring and summer even. Cannot justify picking hockey at this point, despite how much I obviously prefer hockey in the NHL to Halloween. But like you said perfectly, Matt, Halloween embodies the vibe of fall. It's built around, I think they came up with the season fall because of Halloween. Like that's where they call it. I don't know. Anyways, Halloween has to go through. It has my vote as well.
It'll be a sweep for Halloween. I'll keep this short. As much as I love hockey, I look forward to Halloween all year. And to me, as an adult, it makes me feel like a little kid. And as soon as it's over, I am so sad. So sad. So, sweep, Halloween.
Yep. It's going to the finals. And its opponent will be either two high seeds or low seeds, I guess. The Harry Potter Marathon. Actually, no. Yeah, Harry Potter Marathon's number 7 seed against the 11 seed Crisp Fall Weather. Harry Potter Marathon's Crisp Fall Weather. Sarah, or I can start us off actually. So, Harry Potter, like I said, the best time to watch it is during the fall. You want to get cozy, blanket on, maybe even a hoodie, get extra warm. But the reason that you want to watch it in these conditions is because of the crispy fall weather that are making the conditions of your home a little cooler, making you want to get cozy and watch Harry Potter. You don't have that feeling the rest of the year. You can watch Harry Potter whenever during the year. It's still a great franchise. Like, it doesn't necessarily become that much better in the fall, maybe a little bit better, but it becomes better because of the fall weather. So for me, fall weather is getting my vote in this situation. Crispy fall weather. And also, actually, I'll just add, I'll keep it if it moves on.
I already put the Harry Potter Marathon second once, so I'm gonna go with crispy fall weather again, and it's only because I get it for such a small amount of time and I love it. And I can watch Harry Potter all year round. The fact that I'm not picking it doesn't diminish Harry Potter. I love it, but I'm gonna go with the crisp fall weather as well.
Yeah, and I clean sweep here. It's not a slight on the Harry Potter franchise, but like you said, Eric, the weather just enhances the franchise. And you, Sarah, you said it perfectly too. Like, it's such a short time we have that weather. We have to cherish it, and it's so important in my life too. So, yeah, clean sweep.
Damn.
So now 2 sweeps leading up to the final, 2 heavyweights, which are like 2 staples of the fall. Halloween and the crispy fall weather. You can't have one without the other. One cannot live while the other. Full circle.
Oh, God.
That was great.
So yeah, and I don't know who wants to start this one off. There's, I think, arguments still on the table that weren't shared for both. I don't want to start, to be honest.
I'll start.
I can start.
I'll start.
Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
With very little thought put into it, if I'm looking at one versus the other, super quick, I pick Halloween. And I don't know that I have much more extra stories or reasoning why. I'm repeating myself a million times. I look forward to Halloween all year round. I love decorating it, shopping for it. Everything that has to do with Halloween, I'm about it. I love the weather as well, but when faced with the choice, Halloween.
Halloween. Want me to go, Eric?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, tack on to my Halloween arguments. All the decoration, like seeing people decorate their houses and driving down the street and seeing that, and the haunts and everything is amazing. However, back to the weather here. Like I can't keep repeating, I sound like a broken record, but like it impacts me so much every day. And like even after Halloween's over, we get that month of November where it's getting freaking cold, but it's still great weather for me. You know, those walks like just before the sun sets, like at night, those jogs. But I also love Halloween, and I'm torn. But in the essence of putting all like the pressure on Eric, I think weather's going to be edging out Halloween here, because you know what, it really does affect like my happiness. I'm not gonna lie, like I get pissed off when it's too hot and too cold, and people that have known me my whole life know this. I complain in the summer and in the winter, kind of ridiculous. So I'm taking weather, and Eric's gonna have to be the final decision maker here.
I was hoping it would come down to this. Yeah, so you brought up another good point that wasn't really discussed. Maybe it was a little, but not too much there. The decorating of the homes, I think, is really cool. That's something that we did last year on the outside, and we did too when we lived together. I feel like we had some decorations outside, like, well, with the pumpkins. They're like, the pumpkins are included in Halloween too. Obviously, you put a candle in them when kids come by. You see, like, okay, this house is serving. And yeah, like putting the little webs up is fun, and decorating inside, making your house spooky, like a haunted house theme is really cool. A thing in favor of the weather, though, that wasn't really discussed is, I don't know about you, but I sleep extremely well during these months, the cooler months. Like you get cozy in your bed as well. It's cooler in your home. Very nice. And like I said, I'm a big sweatpants, hoodie guy. I do like being in these conditions. And then at night, obviously, it's much better too. And I lost my point there that I was gonna make. But the crispy fall weather, I like it a lot. I prefer summer weather, to be honest. Like that's my favorite weather. And I love winter as well. So it's like it comes down to like winter and fall, I feel like are closer than they are in a lot of people's minds, for me anyways, and it is my pick. And I do love, like I've already said a ton of times, Halloween. And like you said earlier, Sarah, the whole month leads up to the end of the month, which is Halloween, the prep for that party, coming up with like little snacks. Everything's encompassed in Halloween. It's the amuse bouches, you know, the games you're coming up with for the parties, the decor, the pumpkin carving, the pumpkin flavored, the delicious desserts. You throw on Harry Potter in the background. Why not? It's Halloween for me. That's the winner of the bracket for the best things of the fall.
And I mean, it's not a shocking win, you know?
No.
Out of all the things we
out of nowhere.
About.
The one seed.
Underdog.
So a lot of fun, though. A lot of good debate. And I think that was the perfect final, too, to have those two go up against one another. And also Halloween, just to add on, it includes horror movies as well, in that I know I voted against horror movies, but the 31st is a nice night to actually throw on, like you said, Matt, the Halloween, the movie, and other horror. I did watch a horror movie like a few years ago on Halloween. It didn't last year, but a few years ago I did. I watched two, actually. And I'll possibly do the same again this year. Like on the Monday, why not? It's the time to do it. So Halloween, I think, is the king of the fall, queen of the fall.
I feel like dogs in costumes got robbed, but they're still a part of Halloween.
Done dirty for
they're still
sure.
a part of Halloween.
It is, exactly.
It's been so fun to just like talk about all the things that I love about fall with you guys. Thanks for spontaneous invite, and I hope everyone else does enjoy this pod as much as I did.
Yeah, it was great having you on, Sarah. We always have great episodes, us three, so what a treat. I did not expect you to be on tonight. It just made it even more special.
Well, did you have any, actually, we can do quickly there if you want, their nice random recommendations segment. Did you have anything you wanted to partake on the listeners, Sarah? Like movies? I have a few things actually I could recommend, so we don't need to just have one thing too. I have a couple, so if you want to start us off.
I mean, I'm just on the spot here, but my brother recommended a show that you can find on Disney Plus called What We Do in the Shadows by Taika Waititi.
Yep.
And it has been hilarious. I've only started it, but I do think, like, if you like The Office, like if you like those type of shows, you'll like this show. It's really, really funny.
Okay, nice.
And it's vampires, like it's
seasonally correct.
It's seasonally correct, and it's not like horror. It's some things can be Halloween and not like extremely scary, I think, and that's more what I'll gravitate towards. So been liking that one so far. Okay.
I've heard of it. I've heard nothing but good things, honestly. Of both the movie and then the show is based on the movie, I think, anyways. So, no, I've definitely checked that out. And now that just randomly made me think of maybe something that could have been included in the bracket was the homie Dracula. I feel like, I don't know if that's really the fall or it's more like horror. Anyways, big Dracula guy. Nice. No, I'll check it out. I've actually wanted to start it up, and I think this is the push I needed to get on it. I'll recommend a movie, which Matt, I said last episode I was going to get back into the movie game. I've watched 3 movies since our last episode. First one I'll recommend is actually one that I watched years ago, but I never finished it. And I forgot it how far I got into the movie, and as it kept going, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen this. Okay, this is the farthest I got. Oh no, okay, I've seen this too. And I watched like an hour of this movie, never finished it. Wasn't into it. This time I was. The Big Lebowski. Was a huge fan of it. It's like, I thought it was hilarious. Such a weird movie, but I thought it was hysterical. And from what I've read online, it only gets better with subsequent viewings. You pick up little things. The plot it was definitely strange. Like, it's a Coen Brothers movie, which they're known for their, I think like a big theme in their movies is the element of like, randomness and also, just where you end up being at a certain time and place and how that affects events to come, like the butterfly effect kind of, and I think randomness and what I just said is a good way to describe it. So yeah, Big Lebowski, would recommend. And I don't know if it's on any streaming platforms. I watched it on the plane. I was laughing like a maniac, and the guy next to me probably thought I was a weirdo, but didn't care. I was loving it. John Goodman was hysterical in the movie. Most of his lines, he had me in tears, and Jeff Bridges too is great too, and then minor characters in there too are really funny. So yeah, Big Lebowski, definitely recommend.
All right, just quickly, I love the Big Lebowski arc, and yes, it does get better with subsequent viewings, and yes, John Goodman is the highlight.
So good.
And What We Do in the Shadows, I absolutely adore that movie, Sarah. So like, I need to get on the show because I've never watched it. So thanks for reminding me that show exists, actually, and I need to get my ass on that. I'll recommend a show. I got a show and one movie. It's a Netflix limited series simply titled Dahmer.
No, Matsuer, no. Matsuer, I can't. I'm gonna walk off the set. No.
No, I won't be talking too much about it because I'm only halfway through it and absolutely loving every scene in it. And that's all I'm gonna say because Sarah's about to like throw up. I'm fascinated by true crime, and Evan Peters deserves an award for this portrayal. That's it. Sorry, Sarah, I don't want to like.
Have you seen it, Sarah, or are you just not interested in seeing it?
You know what? Gus had it on, and I was, I don't know, just on my phone and kind of watching, and then I couldn't look away, and I was just like, oh my God. It got to a point where I was like, Gus, I'm going upstairs. Like, I can't do this. I can't. And then he came upstairs and tried to like explain to me what happened, and I was like, shut up right now. Like, I don't want to know. Like, it's quite disturbing. And yeah, the whole time I'm just like, this is real, and it's too much for me. Anything for me that just feels so real, I have a really hard time with, and I couldn't do it. I can't. But I'm sure it's gonna get a lot of attention. I'm sure he did a good job. Just the little bit that I saw, he really
too good of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very disturbed by just the small clips that I've seen. So.
Yeah, I saw it on Netflix too. Like I think it was ranked #1. Either that or Blonde. I think is one of those two is up there. Did not.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either, and I don't know. Dahmer. Yeah, it looks like probably too much for me, honestly. But I'm not surprised to hear Evan Peters is killing it. He's a great actor. Ralph Boner, I believe, in WandaVision. Great portrayal. Yeah. I don't know, those kind of shows, like the true crime stuff it's too much for me. Softy when it comes to, like, especially real life. Yeah, true crime, it's in the name. It means what it says.
But it's such a popular genre. Like, so much of my friends listen to, like, those podcasts, and, like, Gus is super into it too. YouTube series, but I can, it's not for me, but yeah.
That's fair. I mean, that could be a topic for another show where we explain why, the fascination with that. But I have my own reasoning, but we'll just keep it going with the recommendations, I guess.
Okay, I can go. I got two more movies. I'll throw them both in because you actually recommended one of these, Matt, a while ago. I watched again on the plane. I watched The Northman with Alexander Skarsgård and Anya Taylor-Joy. I was a big fan of it. It was a great movie, solid revenge tale, and definitely had a little turn I didn't see coming, which I enjoyed. It was visually striking movie as well, and good action too. Very gory, but not over the top either. It's just cool. Like I like that Viking stuff as well. Haven't seen many of those movies or the shows. Like I know there's a show, The Vikings, there, and haven't really seen much of it. So it was fun to watch, and I'd wanted to see it for a while, so glad to cross that one off the list. And then the other one, which I finished the other day, I watched in 2 sittings, is a Netflix movie called Hustle, starring Adam Sandler. I was a big fan of it. Like, it's fun to see the Sandman getting into these dramatic roles and getting away from his typecast, like Happy Gilmore, which, don't get me wrong, I love, roles. It's a lot of fun. Like, it's a basketball movie. He plays a scout and aspiring coach for the Philadelphia 76ers. And then his job is to obviously travel around the world to discover new talent and find basketball players. And then, he finds a kid in Spain and who actually plays for the Raptors. I did not know that. Like, he signed a 1-year contract with the Raptors for this year. So it's cool. Bo Cruz is his name in the movie. And then he kind of wants to push for him to make it to the NBA. And there's some opposition at the front office. Like, the owner of the team is a younger guy, like he's the son of the former owner who just passed, like in the beginning of the movie there. So he's like not pushing for Adam Sandler's character's opinions. So there's some conflicts there, and it was really entertaining. It was a solid drama, a bit of comedy, but not over the top. And I thought it was cool, like a fun basketball movie, which I haven't seen many of. So definitely recommend. Solid movie. I don't know if either of you have seen it, but it was fun.
I think I've heard there's a lot of NBA player cameos in it. I haven't watched it, but I have heard that. A
ton of them.
I really liked Hustle actually too, Eric. I'm really impressed by it. Awesome. Could have watched more of it. Like, I was just fascinated by the NBA behind the scenes world.
Yeah,
it was awesome. Yeah.
Have you guys seen Bullet Train?
Matt has. I have not.
Yeah. I mentioned it. I love Bullet Train. Actually.
For me, I know this is a fall recommendation, but for me, it was my movie of the summer. And if you haven't seen it or haven't heard of it, I would recommend checking it out.
Okay, nice.
All right. I'll just shoot my last movie there. It's a movie from the early '90s. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but it's the Addams Family movie.
The cartoon?
Honestly, what? Go ahead.
The cartoon?
No, just the live action one.
Okay.
From the early '90s. It's on Netflix, I think. I don't know. I hadn't seen it since I was a kid, but like the drinks were flowing, the snacks, the junk food. I just like couldn't stop laughing. It's just ridiculous, but it's so funny. It's so easy to watch. If you don't know what to watch, throw it on and you'll laugh 100%. Christopher Lloyd kills it in the movie, but as do all the other actors. But yeah, the Addams Family. I've been watching a lot of like PG Halloween movies, like Hocus Pocus and
Hocus
stuff like
Pocus
that.
2.
You know, the Goonies. I've been watching a lot of 80s, early 90s stuff, but the Addams Family really stood out. Yeah, really, really impressed with that movie.
I think they're releasing a Wednesday Addams series. I don't remember if it's Netflix or not, and I don't even know when it's coming out, but I'll probably be tuning into that one.
Okay. I haven't seen either, like Addams Family, Hocus Pocus. I've heard there's a second one that was just released. I don't know if you got a chance to check that one out. I'm by trade iffy of sequels that come out years down the road. There are a few exceptions to the rules. Top Gun Maverick, of course, being one of them. Hopefully Avatar 2 can be another as well. I'm looking forward to that. I actually just bought my Black Panther Wakanda Forever tickets today. Pumped for that.
I was looking at them today too.
Opening night, a must for that. And I've actually still haven't seen any trailers. Can't wait to go in blind. Surely when I show up to the theater, they'll be showing the trailer, like the massive behind-the-scenes preview of it, and I'll have my eyes closed and my AirPods in. So,
good man, Eric.
You're going at opening night as well?
No, good man for the AirPods and closing your eyes during like all the stuff before the movie. That's the way to do it.
It's a veteran's move. I've never seen one.
Can I just say I've seen both of the trailers and like I really don't feel like, you know how sometimes you watch a trailer and everything is there, and this one I really don't feel. I'm not saying watch it, but I still don't really know what I'm going in to see. Okay. So I'll just say unpopular opinion, probably not a big Hocus Pocus girl. So I actually watched Hocus Pocus for the first time last year, and I honestly, like, I think that you need to have nostalgia tied to it so that you like it, because I was just like, meh. So I'm probably not even gonna watch the second one. So yeah. Sorry girls, sorry Sandersons.
That's fair. Yeah, that's all I had.
On Black Panther, quickly, I don't know if you saw the running time of the movie, 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a long one.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, me too. Like, I like it. I feel like the last two have been like 2 hours on the dot, which has been okay, but I am fiending for more, and especially Black Panther. Like, this is going to be, like we talked about in our Marvel episode, this is hopefully a rejuvenation for the MCU, because by God has She-Hulk been terrible. Like,
it's horrible. I
like
hate it. I'm with Eric. It's not good. Sorry, Sarah. You like it?
Okay, I'll just say, I think Tatiana Maslany,
incredible,
killing it. She's
a
great
queen.
as
a queen.
I haven't seen her in anything, honestly, but she's really good as Jen Walters, aka She-Hulk. My problem with the show is the plot, the writing is, in my opinion, I'm not a fan of it at all. I feel like they're making a joke out of the law as well. Not that I really care, like I'm not a lawyer or anything there, but based on like the Daredevil show that we've seen, how they've handled the law is like a farce in what they're doing in She-Hulk. And I'm just not a fan. There's not really even a story at this point. There's 2 episodes left, and I'm just waiting for Daredevil to show up at this point. Like, it's, I don't know. I'm not a fan, but I like her.
Not to stretch it out. I've just been liking that Marvel's doing, like, different things. Like, I think they have to, because you can't just always go in with the same style, like, all the time. So I like that it's kind of, like, sitcom-y. But I can get that, like, people who take the Marvel Universe seriously are like, what the heck is this? Like, but no, I don't hate it, and I laughed a lot, and yeah, I'm a fan of She-Hulk.
Listen, there's She-Hulk right now. There's Rings of Power, House of the Dragon, so many shows, and we're gonna be talking about them definitely in future episodes.
Oh, yeah.
So
too much.
Which I'm gonna save
There's
all
a
my
lot,
thoughts.
for
I'm
sure.
watching too much
There's
right
a
now.
lot
I'm
right
gonna
now.
mash the storylines all into one because I'm committed to too much.
That's true. And with our theme of the episode, the fall, like this is the time to be watching all these shows. So it's kind of perfect timing that we have all these shows, and I like that they all release on different days too. As much as I've been bashing She-Hulk the last, me and Zach have just been going at it bashing this. It's been hilarious. That's been my source of joy. Has been ripping the show with Zach. It's been hilarious. But hey, I'm a sucker. Every Thursday morning I've tuned in and watched. So I still do look forward to a certain degree to watch the show and hope that it'll pick up a little. I think it's going to finish strong. I'm still holding out hope that the last 2 episodes are going to be good. And I am looking forward to what they're going to do with her character down the road. For sure. I think there's a lot of potential there. And Andor Wednesday, She-Hulk Thursday, Rings of Power Friday, House of the Dragon Sunday. Sprinkle some hockey and football in there. What more can you ask for? It's great. Wednesday, Addams Family. Just throw that in there. But yeah, there's a lot, and I'm all for it. Yeah. I'll throw in Andor too as a recommendation. I don't know if you've seen it up to date so far. Great show. I'm loving it. I haven't started, Matt?
No.
Oh man, it's good. It's a
Been
good show.
busy.
And I said this to Zach too. To think that a show revolving around Cassian Andor is better than a show around Obi-Wan Kenobi would have been ludicrous to think of. But that's the world we're living in, and it's not even close.
Wow.
I believe it.
And that's not necessarily just a shot at Obi-Wan. It's more speaking to how I'm enjoying Andor anyways. I don't want to raise that bar to an unbelievable heights there, but I'm really enjoying the show. So definitely recommend. If you like Star Wars, it's a fresh take on it too. It's different than what we've seen. It's not lightsabers and stuff, so it's been fun to watch. More Mando, less Kenobi. It's close. Anyways. Recommend. So I guess that's all for our random recommendations. And yeah, Sarah, it's been an absolute blast to have you on here. It's been a while. I think the last time was for the Justice League episode, which is over a year ago now.
I think we were in full-fledged Pandini. Yeah, so...
Pando.
Panorama.
Yep.
So yeah, it's... Again, thanks for having me. I always have fun with you guys, and I've loved talking all things fall.
Matt, any final notes for the listeners?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on tonight. It was such a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect this, so definitely made my day, my night. I love talking to you guys about it. I love the debate we had and the bracket. Everything about this episode was great, and thank you everybody for listening too. And I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I know I sure did.
Yeah, thanks a lot everybody for listening. I hope you enjoyed as well. Let us know what you think. Should the Halloween of one was dogs in costumes done dirty? Probably, but yeah, let us know what you thought about how it all played out, and I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for episodes dropping every 2 Mondays. Continue to stay safe. Love you all, and yeah, peace.